Hi, I'm Jill with the Mobile Public Library, and today I have my roundup of books I've read lately that I didn't love, but you might. So I'm just going to tell you about these books and see if any of them strike your fancy. So the first one I want to talk about is A Half-Built Garden by Ruthanna Emrys. This is a book that is set in like a post-climate crisis future where world governments have not dealt well with the changes and have kind of become irrelevant, and instead people organize themselves in a community action group commune type fashion. And into this world comes like a first encounter with aliens, and they're like negotiating with these aliens who just landed on Earth. And I think this one is probably great for people who are very embedded in your sort of like heavily left-leaning cultural, sociological theories, and they're looking for something really positive and optimistic about the future where there are trials and tribulations, but people, get better and work things out. I'll tell you that the problem I had with it is I found a lot of the interactions and the priorities of the humans were kind of suspect. I don't know. It just didn't strike me as realistic. But your mileage may vary with that. Like everybody has a different point of view about what's realistic and what's not. I think the thing that was kind of put me off is this theory that like everything's better done by committee, and I'm like that has never been my experience. But yeah, like I said, your mileage may vary on that. And then the second one I want to talk about is Last Ones Left Alive by Sarah Davis-Goff. This one is set in Ireland, and it's post-zombie apocalypse. And now, contrary to the Half-Built Garden, there's no optimism in this one at all. It is very grim and gritty. It's the main character of this one, her name's Orphan, and she was born after the zombie apocalypse, or at least she was like little when the zombie apocalypse happens. So she does not remember normal life at all. She grew up isolated on a small island with her parents, and then years have gone by, and her parents have died, and she is on foot hiking across Ireland looking for other human being civilization that has survived the zombie apocalypse that she has only heard rumors of. And you get all these flashbacks about how she grew up, and her regrets and worrying about her what's her future going to be like, and what are these people that she's looking for like, and there's some big secrets that her parents kept from her, and what those secrets are. So that's, it's like I said, it's very grounded, realistic, for a zombie apocalypse, and the descriptions of it are really well done, so that you really like feel like you're there and you're in Orphan's head and you understand how she's feeling and what's happening. The issue I had with it was the pacing. I felt like this was a book that was more of a prologue for the next book that hasn't happened yet, because nothing really happens in this book. It's more of just like setting the scene and describing this world and letting the audience know what this world in zombie apocalypse in Ireland looks like, and nothing, like I said, nothing really happens in the course of the book. So the pacing was a little slow for me, but if you like something really atmospheric, love zombies, you probably will love this book. And then the third one, total contrast from the other two. There's no apocalypse involved in this one at all. It is a space western. The main character, Mouse, is a thief, and in the process of pulling a job, she comes across Penelope's a little girl who's been kidnapped by aliens. So she rescues the little girl, and then the two of them are running across the galaxy, fleeing from bounty hunters and killers who are looking for Penelope, because Penelope has superpowers. And like I said, this is a space western, so it's like, edge of the galaxy, newly settled planets, and they have a lot of trappings of like the Old West. So plot-wise and setting-wise, this is probably like very similar to Firefly, if you are familiar with that. Though I will say it was published a good 10 years before Firefly, so it's not ripping that show off. So if you enjoy something like that, you probably will like this book. The thing that kind of didn't sell it for me is the fact that it's heavy on the action adventure and light on the character development. I think it would make a fantastic TV show or movie because you could have like acting to kind of make up for some of the deficiencies of the on-page character development. But for me, I just didn't feel enough for the characters to really be sucked into the story. But if you are more of a plot reader and you're looking for more world building and action adventure, you probably would really like this one, as opposed to someone who just really reads for character. I'll also mention that Soothsayer, at least, is available on Hoopla for checkout if you're looking for an ebook. So those are my three that, like I said, I didn't love them, but you might. So if the synopsis sounds like something you're interested in, they're certainly worth checking out. And I guess that brings me to a food thing. And the food thing I'll mention is the Princess Diana overnight oats. Like the recipe went viral, some months ago, and I tried it then, and now it's kind of in the regular breakfast rotation because it's really good. I mean, it's a fairly standard overnight oats recipe, with the exception of instead of using milk to soak it in, you use orange juice, and then you also grate an apple on the top, so it's really light and fruity. And if you use a high protein yogurt to put into it, it's fairly high protein too, if that's something of concern. But yeah, I really like the Princess Diana overnight oats. It sounds a little strange, but it's actually really good. So if you do oatmeal, I'd say give that a shot sometime. You might like it. Anyway, leave me a comment down below and let me know what you have been eating and reading lately, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.